Hey everybody, Lottie here, and today I wanted to give you an update on my sabbatical. It has been 86 days, and so I have actually been testing out our financial independence budget actually. So I have gone through a little bit of emotional turmoil in the past 86 days. A lot of good and a lot of bad. And so one of the things that actually happened was I actually boiled down with this experiment. At first, I was really focusing on other things. And then I realized, like, well, hey, why not test out the budget while I'm here? So one of the things I'm finding out that I'm really enjoying with respect to this gap year is the fact that I'm getting a chance to be very serendipitous, and things are showing up for me, like ideas are showing up, and I'm like, yeah, why not test that? Yeah, why not do that? Originally, like I had an idea of what I wanted to do in my gap year, but it ended up being just more of like a lot of experimentation, but that really was part of the idea, right? Was to be able to have some self-reflection and chronicle the events that have happened, but at the same time, like have some deliverables that come out of it too, and not just be like, free exploration, but with some structure. It was pretty much how I wanted it to be. So in any case, I want to share with you the budget that we decided. And so a while back, before we actually decided that I could go on this sabbatical, this gap year, we had kind of worked backwards and said, what would financial independence look like for us? What would the number be? And so we came up with this number, $50,000. It kind of stemmed from a lot of years of research of like the back data of our living expenses past 5 years. We felt like 50,000 was a good number because we don't have a mortgage anymore. We paid off our house. We don't have debt. The only thing we have left is $75,000 on our second home that we have. And so that's something that we may pay off or may not pay off because we have somebody renting it. So it's really not necessary for us that's not urgent in this case. So one of the things that I really love about a gap year is being able to experiment with things that are happening. And so I tested out this FI budget. So let me share with you what I have so far. So when I actually built this budget, I had said, I had put some arbitrary expenses from what we had. We're going to pay property taxes, groceries. You can kind of get an idea of what this looks like here. Some travel and some taxes. This is really income tax here based on the investment income that we're going to be drawing down from. And then, here's an idea, right? A budget is just an idea. And so it came down to about 50,000 and change. So I ran the numbers year to date for what I think. So I ran the numbers year to date, and what I did have to factor out was we did pay this past year. We paid off $5,000 on the mortgage, and then I put another $2,000 towards investment property. So we did take that out because technically we don't have debt, and so we're not considering debt in this equation, and so that was an anomaly for the current year. And so I came up with this number, 17,644, and clearly Daniel is winning where he's paying less than me. He's just spending less than me, and I'm spending slightly more. So it comes out to about 39 and change for the both of us. So we're thinking 47,000. But to keep things simple, what I did was split 48,000 in half. So he gets 2,000 a month and I get 2,000 a month. And being that we are 708 days away, this was a really important experimentation to really understand what $2,000 a month looks like for us. And so here's my budget that I ran. And I said, okay, so I ran the numbers for January to May so far. We have like a few days left in May. And it came out to be like $227 left. But the holiday is coming up, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to go over this. I'm hoping not, that we won't go over that. But, as of net effect of over under is about $38 that I'm under budget. But I think when I talk about this budget, something that I really want to be very clear about is called value-based spending. One of the things that I really wanted to do as I'm going through this sabbatical year is making sure that I'm just spending money the way I naturally would spend, that I'm not creating restrictions with whatever's going on. So yes, there are some ideas in which restrictions are important, but the whole idea of creating the life you want is to make sure you're spending in alignment with your values, right? So for me, some of the spending that I was doing was related to some travel, some professional development, putting some money into my business, getting a coach, getting a therapist, um, buying healthy food. I think I got like a tiny new wardrobe update or something like that. So I feel like this is just really important when it comes to making sure that we are always spending in alignment with our values. In my world, I don't see, unless you feel like there's a need to look at every line item, I don't see that there's a need for any of that. And so really that was really what I wanted to share was this is an experiment. We'll see what happens. And I think before we actually go into financial independence where you are really financially independent and work is optional, these are the type of things that I would put in place in order to not be shocked when I get there. Because there are some things that I'm seeing now that I have been shocked by that I didn't realize that I was really affected by it. For example, not seeing a paycheck come in for somebody like me who loves to check the box and loves to see how much I saved and loves to see how much I make and loves to see like my spending is below the number. I don't have those feel good moments anymore. My feel good moments are going to be different. And so adjusting to that has been really a unique journey for me. And also the other thing too that I'm starting to find is that I have a brand new routine. So the things that used to give me comfort no longer give me comfort anymore. So I'm really creating a whole new lifestyle without me even knowing it. I still talk a lot about money with friends and things like that, but I don't think about money as much as I would if I actually had a job because the gravy train was always coming in to pay for whatever I wanted. Now I'm thinking more of just like making sure that I'm spending time, which is something I is more valuable than money, I believe. I'm looking at time as like something to say like, hey, how am I using that wisely or not wisely? And so being in sabbatical, even in just this 86 days, has really shifted my thinking on so many different things. But anyways, I hope that you found that this video was helpful and that you can see how I budget my money now different than how I used to budget my money. And I can share, there's a link below that will show you what my budget used to look like and how I used to budget. But now it's going to be completely different just because I do things differently. Anyways, if you have any questions or want to brainstorm with me on anything, just message me. I left my email in the description box below. But yeah, so enjoy the night and I will chat with you later.